White House. The next scheduled Republican presidential debate has been canceled. It was supposed to take place Monday night in Salt Lake City, but GOP frontrunner Donald Trump announced he would not be attending. Earlier today, Trump said on Fox News, quote, "I think we've had enough debates." Hours after his announcement, an aide to John Kasich said the Ohio governor also would not attend if Trump doesn't show. Fox News was set to host that event. The network now confirms it's calling it off. Now, because it's become quite apparent that Texas Senator Ted Cruz would in fact be the only candidate on the stage.
Another Super Tuesday is in the books. Donald Trump knocks out Marco Rubio. Gone from the race is he, with another round of primary victories, including a very narrow win over Ted Cruz in Missouri. But John Kasich easily beat Trump in his home state of Ohio, Kasich's first outright win this primary season, and it was a clean sweep on the Democratic side, with Hillary Clinton beating Bernie Sanders in all 5 states. And joining me now to talk about all of it is strategist uber alles Charlie Harper and Democratic State Representative LaDawn Jones. LaDawn, let's begin with you. For Bernie Sanders, a very, very close evening in a lot of places, including Missouri. But the hard, cold, stark reality is he's not going to get the nomination. He will be hanging around till the convention. For what purpose?
Well, he has 2 very important purposes for the Democratic Party. The first purpose is he has to keep his voters engaged. You see, the Republican turnout is extremely high. There are Bernie supporters in these later states, and he has to keep going to make sure that they're going to come to the polls to beat the eventual Republican nominee. And the other important part is someone has to show the Republican Party the appropriate way that you're supposed to have contests all the way into the convention. So we need him in until then.
On the subject of the Republican Party, Newt Gingrich last night said that there is no stopping Donald Trump. Conversely, Donald Trump said, if anyone tries to stop him, there will be rioting in the streets. How do you feel about both of those comments?
The second one's very disturbing because that's kind of been the mode of operation of the Trump campaign. It's almost a elect me or it's a threat his entire way through this. And it's very off-putting to folks that believe that politics is all about how you decide elections that are not about violence. As far as Newt Gingrich, I think he's probably more correct than not. I wouldn't say it's a lock at this point for Donald Trump, but the math is actually fairly easy for him, given that there are a lot of large states that are winner-take-all going out, and they're in areas that would be favorable to Trump based on other nearby states for how he's performed.
President Obama today has nominated Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court, and this is not only interesting from a legal standpoint, but from the political standpoint, it touches all dynamics of the campaigns on both sides. The Obama administration has been famous over the last 7.5 years for boxing in the ears politically of the GOP. It looks like he's done it again with this model.
He knows how to upset the inner workings of the Republican Party as good as anyone. And what this has done is, now that the Republican establishment, though I hate that term, is looking at the real possibility of losing this election or nominating Donald Trump, that they have no idea what his judicial appointments would be like if they decide that this nominee is actually as conservative as they could expect from a Hillary Clinton that they frankly expect would beat a Donald Trump. Maybe it's time to cut your losses and actually run them through the process. And there are others that believe Ted Cruz is already the anointed president. There's no chance he could lose, and they want absolutely him to make this appointment, but they got to get him elected first.
Well, liberals aren't crazy about this either, because they don't get what they want.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of chagrin in the Liberal Party. They're concerned that this was not as far to the left as they would have wanted, but I think it was an absolute genius move on behalf of President Obama, because now the Republicans really have to stand up and go back to their districts and say that they voted against the political process that was kind of in their favor.
Every day, a new twist, a new turn. It is amazing. You just cannot simply project what you're going to see from day to day, week to week, and month to month.
Makes House of Cards a little boring.
It does. Charlie, LaDawn, thank you very much.
Oh, well, was that ever true?